Hopefully audio works this week. So namaste yogis, welcome to basics. My name is Jody. We will get started with our pranayama, our breath work. So allowing the eyes to gently close if they haven't already. We'll take a deep breath in through the nose, audible sigh, releasing out the mouth. One more deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out the mouth. Body becomes heavy into the earth as you give yourselves permission to arrive at your practice. So letting go of your week and your day so far. Releasing any attachment to anything left on your to-do list for today or this weekend. Beginning to scan over the physical body from head to toe. Reciting to yourselves all the points of contact that your body makes with the earth or maybe a prop. And seeing how specific you can get here, as this helps us to practice our proprioception, our body awareness. That is being able to recognize where your body is in space and time without having to look at it. So making sure to also check in with front body, as well as mental, emotional body. So notice if there's anything that has followed you here to the mat that you could release and detach from, at least during our practice together. As we begin to let go of any distraction in our room, any distractions beyond this space or in our personal or private world, we'll instead turn the awareness inward, finding a focus on the breath. Allowing the breath to show up naturally, moving in and out of the nostrils. Just see how the breath shows up for you in this moment. Becoming aware of the pace and the rhythm of the breath. Noticing any texture, temperature. And with your next inhale, we'll begin to encourage the breath to deepen and lengthen. You can think about your torso like a glass and your breath like water. As you would fill a glass with water from the bottom to the top, every inhale, send that breath deep into the belly. Allow the abdomen to fill and expand, then filling up through the ribs and lastly the chest. And just as we would empty a glass of water from the top to the bottom, every exhale, first releasing breath from the chest, then the ribs, lastly the belly, navel actively drawing in towards spine to help press the air back out. With our complete belly breath, we inhale, belly, ribs, chest, and exhale, chest, ribs, belly. You have the option to bring the hands to the torso, belly, and chest to feel where the breath is moving. And anytime that awareness wanders away from the breath, Just letting go of whatever distracted you, guiding the awareness back to that belly breath. Now, after your next exhale, allow the breath to return to its natural pace and rhythm. Taking a moment to check in with breath, noticing if there's been any subtle shift or change, but knowing that it's okay if no change comes up in this moment. We'll start to bring our awareness back into the room and back into the physical body, inviting subtle movements, wiggling fingers and toes, circling out wrists and ankles, and reaching the arms up overhead, finding a full body stretch from fingers to toes. You'll mindfully draw the knees in towards the chest, and then make your way over onto your favorite side, fetal position with the eyes closed. Pausing here to allow the body to fully awaken and reacclimate, I'll invite you to set an intention for your practice today, however that shows up for you. And if you're unsure about an intention, maybe there's a positive affirmation or some points of gratitude. When you feel ready, use the strength of the upper body to press yourselves up, coming to meet in Sukhasana, easy seat. Welcome, yogis. Hi, friendly new faces. So I'm Jody. Nice to meet you all. Welcome to Basics. Thank you so much for coming to our community class. Real quickly, because I know I do have new faces in here, so these free classes do get recorded, but they're watching me. They're out there. But so, don't worry about that. I know I call it out and people are like, oh my gosh, now I know it's there. Don't worry about it. Here in Basics, I love teaching newbies, people new to yoga on their journey, whatever it is. But Basics class isn't just for beginner yogis. It's a wonderful way to come back to the foundation of your practice, even if you've been practicing for years. So in this class, wonderful opportunity to ask questions, gain some clarification on things. So that being said, any requests for today's practice? Maybe there's a part of the body you really want to work on, or there's an asana, a pose that you want to understand a bit more. Lower back? Okay, wonderful. Anything else? Can you just make sure that you're the name of the pose for me? I will do my best. My Sanskrit is not fluent. No, I just need the English. Okay. Okay, not a problem. And if I fumble over it or you don't hear it, you can holler out, hey, Jody, can you repeat that, please? And I'll understand. Absolutely. And there's no pop quiz at the end. So if the pose names go in one ear and out the other, it's okay. Keep practicing. I mean, you can even make flashcards at home. It's fun stuff. I mean, if you're into that kind of thing. All right, so sitting up nice and tall, we are grounding through our sits bones, the bony prominences at the base of your pelvis. If you want the anatomical name, the ischium, fun word. They press down, the pelvis grounds into the floor, grounding, pressing down into the floor. Floor is not going to go anywhere. So instead of the floor sinking beneath your booty, spine lengthens. Like physics or something. That's not my jam. I'm a social worker by trade. Social work and yoga, those are my topics. So spine lengthens, core engages, navel draws in towards spine to turn on all the muscles of our natural corset. We want to help support and protect our low back. Shoulders draw away from the ears, so shoulder blades melt down the back ribs. Crown of the head grows tall. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, float the arms back down. Beautiful. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. And exhale, bring them all the way back down. One more. Inhale, arms reach up. You guys notice the pattern? Exhale, arms return. So in yoga, general rule of thumb, if we're inhaling, body lifts away from the earth. As we exhale, body comes back down. Keep the right hand grounded to the floor. Inhale, left arm reaches up and over to the right. Now, left hip continues to press down into the mat, into the earth. If the hip or the knees start to lift, that's your body saying, hey, we've got some tightness here. We've already maxed out. So ground the hip. Maybe you don't reach towards the windows as far. Now with your next inhale, come back through center. Left hand grounds, right arm reaches up and over to the left. Maybe you notice one side feels a bit differently than the other. Beautiful, wonderful, let it be different. Throughout our practice, we'll work to find the same level of intensity from side to side instead of forcing our body to look the same side to side. Inhale, come up through center. Both arms reach up overhead. On your exhale, twisting to the right towards the windows. Left hand comes to knee or thigh. Right hand coming to the mat behind the hips. Now, the left hand on the leg is helping to guide you in the twist, to open the chest towards the windows. The right hand grounding to the mat behind your hips is pressing the floor away, helping you to sit up even taller. With your next inhale, come back through center, both arms reaching up overhead. Exhale, twisting to the left towards our beautiful big blank wall. So left hand or right hand helping to guide in the twist, left hand grounding, pressing the floor away. Sit up even taller. With your next inhale, coming back through center, both arms reach up overhead. Exhale, release the hands to the mat in front of you and start to walk the hands away, forward fold. Taking a deep breath in through the nose, audible sigh, release it out the mouth. One more deep breath in. Exhale, sigh, let it go. With your next inhale, walk yourselves back up. We'll switch the cross of the legs or feet. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, release the hands to the mat in front of you, forward fold. Walk the hands away from you. Deep breath in through the nose, sigh and release, let it go. One more deep breath in. Exhale, release out the mouth. Inhale to walk yourselves up. And then opening the arms out wide to a T. Shoulder blades soften down the back ribs, core engages, navel draws in, arms actively reaching towards opposite ends of the room. It's okay if you high five your neighbor. It's like you want to touch the opposite walls. Now with your next exhale, bring it in for a nice big hug. Take a mental note of which arm you placed on top. Active through the arms. So arms lift up at shoulder height versus just letting them be passive and resting on the chest. So activate the arms. Reach through the elbows. Do you guys feel the back body open up when you reach the elbows forward? Some nods of the head. If you're not feeling it, you can try it again. Pull the elbows back. Reach through the elbows. Sometimes it just takes some more practice, and that's what we're working on. Being in our body, feeling our body, learning to feel what goes on in the body. With your next inhale, lift the elbows up towards the ceiling, lift the gaze, only going as far as you're comfortable. On your exhale, round it down, chin towards chest, elbows reach towards the earth. Inhale, sit up, reach up, look up. Exhale, round it down. One more with your breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, round it down. And with your next inhale, coming back through center, arms open out wide to a T, this time pressing the walls away from you. So actively pressing into the heel of the palm, flexing fingers and the wrist. So fingers reach back towards you. Check in with the shoulders. Make sure the shoulders are soft and released. And with your next exhale, bring it in for that opposite hug. The other arm now is on top. Active through the arms, so elbows at shoulder height, reaching through those elbows. Inhale, lift up towards the ceiling. Exhale, round down, chin towards chest. Inhale, sit up, reach up, look up. Exhale, round it down. One more with your breath. With your next inhale, coming back up through center, arms open out wide to a T. Inhale to reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, cactus the arms, elbows bend, drawing the elbows back and down. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale to cactus. This opens the chest. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale to cactus. Beautiful. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, release the arms all the way down. We'll circle out the shoulders. Inhale to draw the shoulders forward and up. Exhale to release them back and down. So inhale, body lifts away from the earth. Exhale, body returns. One more. And with your next inhale, switch the direction of your shoulder circles and circle them out the other way. Don't worry, I'll get it. Door pops open sometimes. With your next inhale, shrug the shoulders up close to the ears, creating tension and tightness. Why? So we can recognize what that sensation feels like. On your next exhale, release. Soften shoulders, melt away from the ears. Now we can compare and notice the difference in our body. Let's practice that one more time. Inhale, tension and tightness. Exhale, release, relaxation. Beautiful. Let's make our way to tabletop or all fours. You can roll directly over the knees if you have concern around the knees. Feet can sweep off to one side, coming up to hands and knees. Oh, thank you, Shirley. That was my next journey. So here in tabletop, wrists beneath shoulders, knees beneath the hips. If the knees are sensitive, if you wish the floor was squishier, you can bring a blanket beneath the knees. And if you don't have a blanket, let me know. I can run and get you one. I'm really fast. All right. So we have now moved from Sukhasana, easy seat. That was our sitting on our bottom, crisscross applesauce style. Where our base, our foundation was the pelvis, the sits bones. We've now come up to tabletop. Hands have now become the foundation. So this is where we start to check in on the posture in our body, working from the foundation up. So spread the fingers nice and wide. You're balancing on your hands. The larger you can make your hands, the easier it is to balance. Imagine if your hands were the size of little marshmallows. It'd be hard to balance on. If your hands are the size of dinner plates, much easier. Now we press energetically through the fingertips, the knuckles, and the heels of the palms. The very, very center of the palm of the hand is lifting away from the mat. Those contact points, fingertips, knuckles, heels of the palms, grip the mat while pressing the mat away. Work our way up. So we've really focused on hands. Let's check in with arms. The upper arm, the bicep, spin out. Another way of saying this, elbows spin in. Either way, we're working on bringing the inner crease of the elbow to shine up towards the top of your mat, that short edge. Why? Why is this important? Well, when we externally rotate or spin out the upper arm, shoulder draws away from the ear. It also helps keep the elbows in alignment. If we were to bend the elbows, elbows will stay in towards the torso versus if we had an internal rotation of that arm, the elbows would stick out to the sides. And I tell you this, not very comfortable for the wrist or the elbow or the shoulder. So bring them in. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Navel draws in towards the spine. Nice, mindful tabletop here. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the tail and the heart, coming into cow pose. With your exhale, press the floor away, round the spine, tuck the chin, cat. Inhale for cow, shine the heart through. Exhale for cat, rounding the spine like a scared Halloween cat. Continue to move with the pace of your breath between cat and cow, working to warm up the length of the spine. You can also use this to check in with other parts of the body, wrists, shoulders, knees, hips. Now, after your next exhale or cat pose, coming back to a neutral tabletop. Taking a big step back with the right foot, we'll press back into the right heel, getting a nice stretch through the back of the right leg, the calf and the hamstring. Now inhale, press forward, coming up onto the right tippy toes. Exhale, press back into the heel. Dynamic movement. Inhale, rock forward. Exhale, press back. A few more with your breath. Bringing the weight of the shoulders back over the wrists. We'll inhale to lift that back heel to hip height. Now, I don't know about you, but I do not have eyes in the back of my head. So in order to check and see how close I got, I look back over the right shoulder. Toes are flexed, pointing down towards the mat. Beautiful. Now bring the gaze back to the mat between the thumbs, keeping the back of the neck nice and long. We'll engage the core, reaching the left arm out in front of us. Bird dog balance. Palm in, thumb up. Right hand pressing the mat away, left fingers reaching, right heel pressing towards the wall behind you. For 3, 2, 1. Exhale, replace the hand, replace the knee, tabletop. Big step back with the left foot. Pressing back into the left heel, get a nice stretch through the calf and hamstring. Dynamic movement, inhale, rock forward. Exhale, press back. Take a few rounds, moving with your breath. And returning the weight of the shoulders over the wrists, we'll inhale to lift that back heel to hip height. Looking back over the left shoulder, seeing how close we got. It's practicing proprioception, our body awareness. Core engages, right arm extends out in front of us, palm in, thumb up. Reaching through right fingers, pressing the left hand away. Now, what other options? How could we modify this? Maybe you don't want the arm extended. Beautiful. Maybe you're losing some balance. You can ground the back toes and extend the arm. Options, my friends. With your next exhale, replace the hand, replace the knee, child's pose. Knees open wide, big toes come to touch. Sit the hips back to the heels, and then release the body forward. Taking a deep breath in through the nose, audible exhale out the mouth. So at any time during our practice, if something that I offer just doesn't suit your body, you've either got an injury you're dealing with, there's a gut instinct that says, I don't want to move this way, then don't. You can always come to child's pose or any other resting pose at any time during the practice. If that's what you're needing, that's what you take. With your next inhale, press back up through tabletop. Tuck the toes under, send those hips up and back, downward facing dog. So it's an inverted V shape. Foundation, still the hands. If there's a lot of tension through the backs of the legs, hamstrings, or low back, bend the knees. Beautiful. Chest pressing back towards the legs. So reach the chest this direction. There you go. Go, go, go. Yeah. Beautiful. There's your dog. I like it. You too. So your chest is going to press this way. Straighten the arms. Beautiful. Beautiful. With your next exhale, release to the knees, tabletop. Beautiful. Now shift your weight into your left hand. On the inhale, right arm opens towards the window wall, spinal twist. Exhale, bring it in for a hug, right hand reaching towards left shoulder. Inhale, open the chest, reach long through the fingers. Exhale, hug it out. One more. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, hug, opening back body. Release right hand to the mat, shifting into that right hand. Inhale, left arm opens. Exhale, hug, left hand towards right shoulder. Inhale, open the chest, press the floor away. Exhale, hug, still pressing the floor away. One more. Inhale. Exhale to hug. Left hand returns to the mat. Tuck the toes. Lift those hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Pressing through fingertips, knuckles, heels of the palms. Pop your booty. That's the tailbone reaching up towards the ceiling. Now find some movement here. Pedaling your legs, walking your dog, bending into one knee, then the other. Look up towards the hands. Bend into both knees. Start to walk the feet to the top of your mat. We'll meet in forward fold. Allow the head and neck to hang. Yes, knees can be bent. So all the way in the feet. Maybe hands reach the floor. Maybe you bring some blocks. Maybe hands don't touch the floor. It's okay. Find some gentle nods to the head, yes and no. We'll bring our hands to our hips. Inhale, stand tall, press all the way up. Exhale, release the arms, mountain pose, Tadasana. Now here in Tadasana, mountain pose, feet are parallel. They're going in the same direction. Lines that are parallel will never cross. Think railroad tracks. Now you have corners of your feet. Big toe mounds, inner heels, pinky toe mounds, and outer heels. The arch of the foot, the very center of your foot, energetically lifts, reminiscent to the center of the palm of the hand. We had our contact points when foundation were hands. Guess what? Foundation is now feet. We're starting there. We're working our way up. So arches of the feet energetically lifting as the corners of the feet ground into the earth. Thigh muscles lift, core engages, shoulders soften, face softens, crown of the head grows tall. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Interlace fingers on the exhale, hands to the right, hips to the left. Inhale to come back up through center. Exhale, hands to the left, hips to the right. Inhale, come up through center. Exhale, release the arms, bring them back down. Now interlace fingers behind your back. We have a few options here. If getting the hands to touch at all is a challenge in your body, that's okay. We have props to make that connection behind you. A strap, a blanket, a towel. So if hands don't want to come anywhere near one another, we don't force them. We can fill in the gap. Just let me know if you need a prop. If hands don't want to come palms to touch, that's a bit tight. You can square the wrists. Squaring the wrists, palms touch. We have options here. So now we're going to hug the shoulder blades together. Feel what happens in the front body. Chest opens. Lift the heart. Reach the arms down towards the earth. On your exhale, forward fold. Option to lift the arms away from the torso or keep them resting along the back body. For 3, 2, 1. Release the bind, hands to hips. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, mountain pose, Tadasana. Beautiful. From the top of our mat, inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, hinging at the hips, leading with the heart. Yes, you can bend the knees. Inhale, half lift. Hands come to shins or maybe even thighs. Flatten the back. Press the sits bones back behind you. Lengthen the crown of the head forward. Exhale, release, forward fold. Head hangs. Bend into the knees. Hands find the mat. Big step back with the right foot. Grounding the right knee, low runner's lunge. All right, so here in our low runner's lunge, you can make your little fine-tune adjustments. Sometimes stepping backward in space is intimidating. So we step back, but maybe not as far. Just, keep ourselves safe. Beautiful, wonderful. So now that you're down and you're on the floor and you're grounded, you can finagle yourself into the shape that suits your body. If the knee is sensitive, a blanket under the knee. If the floor feels a little far away, chunks of earth. Yes, foam yoga block. Yes, I know. But the purpose of this is to bring the floor up closer to you so that you can make this practice fit your body. Left ankle stacked below left knee. Stacked joints are safe joints. If the knee is pressing way out over the toes, bring the knee back or walk the foot forward. Right hip. Hello, hip flexor. You guys feel it, the front of the hip? If you're not, pull that hip towards the top of your mat. Then you'll meet your hip flexor. With your next inhale, start to walk the hands back. If you've got blocks, bring them with you. Pelvis stacks over the right knee. So right thigh isn't about to fatigue here. Stacked joints, nice and supported. Left foot flexes. Pull those left toes up and back towards you. Left hip reaching towards the wall behind you. Questions? Beautiful. Inhale, walk it back up, top of the mat, pelvis heavy, heart light. All right, so step your left foot closer up the mat. There you go. More intense, but safer on the knees. Because yes, anatomically, we can press the knee out over the toes, but that extreme flexion in that joint can cause really extreme wear in the joint. Your knees will thank you later if you save them now. On your inhale, half splits, walk it back. We were just here. Pelvis stacks over the right knee, left foot flexes. Find your breath. It's amazing how we move our bodies and forget to breathe. With your next inhale, walk it back to the top of the mat. Release the pelvis, lift the heart. Then help that left leg back into tabletop. Any little movements you want to take here, take them. Maybe you wag the hips, cat and cow. Maybe you just pause in stillness. The importance of breathing in a shape while we are in an asana, a pose, keeping the breath moving in and out of the body helps to keep the nervous system calm. When the nervous system is calm in that rest and digest mode rather than fight or flight, muscles, connective tissues soften, have more room to move. So with your breath, deepening and lengthening the breath, you can increase your flexibility. Just with breath. It's important. All right. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Because if I had kept you in downward facing dog while I gave you that little tidbit about breath, you guys wouldn't come back next week. Deep breath in through the nose, audible sigh out the mouth. Look up towards the hands, bend the knees, start to walk the feet to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Head and neck hang.
Letting gravity do some of the work here for us. Nod the head, yes and no. Release any additional tension through the neck, the shoulders, upper back. Hands to hips. Inhale, stand up tall. Exhale, mountain pose, Tadasana. So this Sanskrit, at least for me, is kind of easy for me to remember since you brought up the name. Think that you just did this really cool thing you wanted to show someone. I come from a background of like dance and gymnastics, so I just did this like cool little thing, like, look at me. And you go, ta-da, sana, tadasana. I promise you there's no quiz. All right, inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, hinging at the hips, leading with the heart. Inhale, half lift, lengthen through the crown of the head, shoulders roll back. Exhale, forward fold, bend the knees, hands to the mat, left leg steps back, low runner's lunge. So left knee grounds. You bring in any props, you make any subtle adjustments. You find your version of a low runner's lunge. Stacking the joints of the right leg, ankle beneath the knee, releasing the pelvis, let the pelvis get heavy as the left hip pulls towards the top of the mat. Hello, hip flexor, front of the left hip. Yes, we're nodding our heads. We feel the feels. Breathe. When sensations are intense and we let go of breath, sometimes breath moves into the chest, starts to pick up real fast. That panic breath. Can you calm it back down? It's your body panicking, your nervous system panicking. You can relax it. Practice. Inhale, walk it back. Straightening that right leg, maybe not all the way. Stacking pelvis over left knee, right foot flexes. Half split. Yes, half split is beginning pose. Because we're not taking the full variation. With your next inhale, walk it back up to the top of the mat. Grounding through the right foot, release the pelvis, lift the heart. Pull that left hip towards the top of your mat. Let's take it one more time. On the inhale, walk it back. Flex through the right foot and ankle. Lengthen the spine. Shoulders draw back and down. Inhale to come back to the top of the mat. We'll help that right leg back into tabletop. Meeting in child's pose. Knees open wide, big toes touch, hips to heels, forehead to earth. Taking a deep breath in through the nose, audible sigh to release out the mouth. Letting go of carbon dioxide. Letting go of distractions. Maybe you're thinking of other things. You've gone someplace else mentally. Can you return? Maybe letting go of self-judgment and critique of practice. When you walk in the door here, we don't expect perfection from any of you or any of our teachers. What we do expect is the practice of awareness of self, to practice presence, and to keep practicing. We never know how we're going to grow and progress if we don't keep trying. With your next inhale, pressing up through tabletop, tuck the toes, lift those hips up and back, downward facing dog. Taking 3 bear squats here. On the exhale, bend the knees, lower hips towards heels, keeping upper body nice and long. Inhale, lift those hips, downward facing dog. Exhale, bear squat, bend the knees, lower the hips towards the heels. Inhale, lift those hips up. One more. Exhale, bear squat. Beautiful. Inhale, downward facing dog. Keep looking back towards the feet, bending the knees as you need. Walk the hands to the back of your mat. Forward fold. Heel toe the feet a little wider than hip distance, giving the hips a little bit more space. Grab a hold of opposite elbows. Find some gentle movement here, either rocking side to side or bouncing the torso. Ragdoll. We'll come back through center, release the hold of the elbows, heel toe the feet back underneath us. On our inhale, walking the hands over to the right, pressing the hips to the left. Inhale to come back through center. Exhale, walk the hands over to the left, hips pressing to the right. Nice. Inhale to come back through center. Half lift, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, forward fold, release and hang. Bring the hands to the hips. Inhale, stand tall, pressing all the way up. Exhale, release into mountain pose. Anyone want to take a guess at the Sanskrit? Tadasana! Beautiful. Let's come to the long edge of our mat facing the windows. Please and thank you. So wide leg stance on the long edge of our mat. Feet are parallel. How wide are your feet? Your feet are as wide as you feel safe and confident upon them. What's the intention of the width of the feet? To be as wide as the wrist. Remember, intention is there so that you know which direction you're headed. Intention is not the same thing as mandatory. Beautiful. Right toes pivot to the short edge of your mat. It's a 90-degree turn. Beautiful. So toes turn towards the short edge. Chest stays open towards the long edge or the windows. Bending into the right knee, stacking the knee over the ankle. Beautiful. Now reach the arms out at shoulder height and soften the shoulder blades down the back ribs. Reach towards opposite ends of the room. Beautiful. Turn to look over the right fingertips. Warrior 2. Beautiful. Core engaged, navel draws in. With your next inhale, reverse your warrior. Back palm drops, front palm reaches up towards the ceiling. Yep. Chest stays open towards the windows. Front knee stays bent. Beautiful. Now coming back through warrior 2, extended side angle, front elbow to knee. Back hand sweeps down and circle the chest open towards the window. So top shoulder rolls back. Reach long through the left fingers, grounding the left pinky toe edge of the foot down into the earth. Now reverse it out. Arm sweeps down, lifts us back up through warrior 2. Straighten through the front leg, reverse triangle, front arm reaches up and back. We'll come back through center, pivot the feet back to parallel, releasing the arms, giving the shoulders a break. Taking warrior 2 to the other side, left toes pivot to the short edge of the mat. Bending into that left knee, stacking the knee over the ankle, gazing over the left fingertips, which are out at shoulder height. Soften the shoulders down the back ribs. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Back palm drops, front palm flips, reaching up towards the ceiling, keeping the bend in that front knee. Lower body has a forward momentum. Upper body has a backward momentum. Coming back through center, warrior 2. Extended side angle, front elbow to knee, back hand sweeps down. Circle the shoulder open the chest towards the windows, reach long through the right fingers. Yes, we are breathing. Reverse it out. Arm sweeps down, lifts us through warrior two. Straighten the front leg, reverse triangle. Reach that front arm up and back. Straight legs this time. Coming back through center, we'll pivot the feet to parallel. Hinge at the hips, forward fold. Let the head and neck hang. Any opportunity to let gravity do some space, let it. Now ground the right hand beneath the face. If the floor feels far away, bring it up on some blocks. If you wish you had a block and you forgot to grab one, let me know. I've got a bin of blocks in here if you didn't know. With your next inhale, left arm opens, spinal twist. So left arm, was it left arm? Right hand planted. Yes, should be. I'm also very dyslexic, so if I say the wrong side, call me out on it. We're all friends in here. Beautiful. So crown of the head reaches towards the windows. Sits bones reaching towards our beautiful big blank wall. Right hand grounding, pressing into the floor. Left fingers reaching towards the ceiling. Exhale, release, forward fold, head hangs. Beautiful. Plant the left hand beneath the face. Inhale, right arm opens, spinal twist. Feel the torso lengthen, chest open. Come to your breath. Can you deepen and lengthen? With your next exhale, release, forward fold, head hangs. We'll bring hands to hips. Inhale, stand tall, press all the way up. Heel toe the feet back underneath you. And we'll meet back at the short edge of our mat. Well, more specifically, top of our mat. Peas and carrots. All right, how's everyone doing? Any questions on anything we've gone over? Cool beans. Unless you're anything like me and you'll get home or tomorrow you'll be like, ooh, I have a question. Anyone else like that? It takes me like a few days to process and I'm like, oh, but I have this whole list. I always tell my managers that way. I'm like, trust me, if something comes up, I'll give you a call. All right, so in our mountain pose, standing nice and tall, inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, hinging at the hips, leading with the heart. Inhale, half lift, lengthen through the crown of the head. Hands can come to shins or thighs. Exhale, release, forward fold, bend the knees, hands find the mat. Step the feet back into downward facing dog. Reach that tailbone up towards the ceiling. Feel the fingertips, knuckles, heels of the palms. Grip the mat and press the floor away. Inhale, come up onto the tippy toes. Lift those heels high. Exhale, lower the heels to the right. Beautiful. Inhale, come back through center. Lift those heels high. Exhale, lower them towards the left. Do they have to touch the floor? No. Inhale, come back through center. Lift those heels high. Exhale, tabletop, release to the knees. Sweep the feet off to one side. Sit the hips back. We're making our way to our seat. Legs extend out in front of us. Staff pose, Dandasana. So sitting up nice and tall, hands can come alongside the hips to ground to help the spine lengthen. Make sure the shoulders soften away from the ears. I know when I bring hands to the mat, my shoulders want to hike up. Some people enjoy bringing blocks beneath their hands to help them sit up taller. Just depends on you and your body, you and your practice. All right. Right foot comes to the mat. Keep some space between the foot and the inner thigh. Why? Because we're balancing here. Everything's balanced. Think about it. It's just a lot easier to balance with a larger base
and a very low center of gravity. So things like Shavasana, very easy to balance here. Very large base, very low center of gravity. Things standing up, much smaller base. My body took up my mat. Now I've got two rectangles the size of an 8.5 shoe. Imagine if you pick up one foot and you're doing a thing like dancer. Now you've only got one little rectangle. So same thing applies here. We had more to balance on. We removed one. If we hug this foot in real close to the thigh, it's like the foot isn't even there to help keep us balanced and upright. So we keep that space. Create a base for yourself. Wonderful. Holding on to that right knee on the inhale, we'll reach the right arm up, twist to the right towards the windows, and ground that right hand to the mat behind your hips. Now stay active through the left extended leg. Yes, we've twisted, we've turned away from it. It's like that out of sight, out of mind thing, but it's still attached to your body and working in the practice. So keep that left leg active, pressing through the heel, toes reach up and back. Sit up nice and tall. With your next exhale, release through center, counter twist to the left. Now, yogi's choice on how deep you want to fold towards the earth is just how does this feel yummy for you? Sometimes the yummy spot, you got to like really find it. Just depends. Now, inhale to come back through center. Exhale, right hip opens. So seated tree. Beautiful. Hands frame the left thigh. Why? Because that's the leg we're working on. We want to center ourselves over the extended leg. So it's a very slight twist. Very slight. Few inches. Shoulders roll back and down. So the chest broadens and lifts. Can you maintain this? And on your exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Only folding as far as you can maintain the integrity of the spine and the torso. If things start to collapse and round, because ego wants you to fold deeper, first, leave your ego in your trunk. Hopefully you don't have a safety release from the inside because you want that ego to stay locked up. And then be in your body. Be with your breath. Because it's not about how deep you fold, how close you get to the leg. Can you be present with the rest of the body? Plant the palms. Inhale, walking yourselves back up will help close up the hip. Send that leg long. Wiggle and shake it out. Left foot to the mat. Keep that space. We already talked about it. Hold on to that left knee. Inhale, left arm reaches up. Twisting to the left, beautiful blank wall. Ground that hand behind your hips. Active through the right extended leg. Press through the right heel. Reach the toes up and back. Beautiful. Like you're going to high five someone with your foot. Yeah, it's silly, but you know exactly what your foot should be looking like, yeah? Yeah. So the hand holding onto the knee is guiding the torso in the twist. Be mindful not to force your body. We like to be gentle and kind, mindful of our spine. With your next exhale, release through center, counter twist to the right. Inhale to come up through center. Exhale, left hip opens. Hands frame the right thigh, active foot, sit up nice and tall, shoulders roll back. Maintain the torso. The action is just at the hips. Exhale, forward fold. When you cannot fold anymore, there it is. Breathe into it. Can you deepen and lengthen the breath here? Plant the palms. Inhale, walk yourselves back up. Closing up the hip, we'll send that leg long on the mat. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge at the hips, lead with the heart. When you find your fold, just release the arms down wherever they go. Reach the heart through, grounding and pressing through the sits bones. Breath is moving. Plant the palms. Inhale, walk yourselves back up and make your way onto your backs, fully reclining. Once you get down there, full body stretch, arms reach up overhead, lengthen from fingers to toes. Option to interlace fingers and press the palms away from you, opening through the hands and the wrists. And with your next inhale, hug the knees in towards the chest, giving the low back a gentle rock side to side, helping to massage the low back and the sacrum. And coming back through center, we'll keep the right knee hugged in towards the chest. Send the left leg long on the mat, staying active through both feet. We'll find some movement through this right hip by drawing some circles with the knee. And then taking those circles the other direction. Knee comes back to center. Interlace fingers behind the thigh. Press the foot up towards the ceiling. Active foot. Inhale, hug the knee in towards the chest. Exhale, press the foot up towards the ceiling. Dynamic movement. Inhale, hug it in. Exhale, try to kick the ceiling. One more. In, hug it in. Send that leg long. Knee hugs in towards chest. Invite the left one to join. Make it a nice big party. Keeping the left knee hugged in, right leg long on the mat, active through the feet. Movement through this left hip. Draw circles with the knee. Check in with the muscles of your face. Soften and release the jaw, the forehead, the eyebrows. Circle it out the other direction. Left knee hugs back in towards chest. Interlace fingers behind the thigh. Sole of the foot presses towards the ceiling. Inhale, knee hugs in towards the chest. Exhale, press through the heel. Inhale to hug it in. Exhale to extend that leg long. One more. Inhale to hug that knee in. Exhale, send that leg long on the mat. Full body stretch. Reach the arms up. Inhale, hug the knees in towards the chest. Arms open out wide to a T, palms face up. On your exhale, reclining spinal twist to the right, knees lower towards the earth. If the earth feels far away for those knees, bring the earth up closer to the body with props. And if you would like to send this twist up the length of the neck, option to turn and look back over the left shoulder, only if your body feels comfortable doing so. Every exhale, give the body permission to release and soften into the twist. Now, if you turned the gaze, bring the head back to center, back to neutral. With your next inhale, knees draw back in towards the chest. Exhale to lower the knees over to the left, reclining spinal twist. Option to look back over the right shoulder, knowing that if you took that extra twist up the length of the neck on the first side, and for whatever reason, the second side is saying, no, thank you, that is perfectly okay and normal. Breathing into your twist, giving the body permission to release and soften with every exhale. If you turned the gaze, bringing the head back to center. On the inhale, knees draw back in towards the chest. Taking a happy baby, reach between the knees to grab a hold of the pinky toe edges of the feet. Now, if grabbing the feet isn't quite in your practice, maybe you can't reach right now, that's okay. You can hold on to ankles, or instead of reaching between the knees, you can come around from the outside edges, hands come to the thighs behind the knees. So whichever grasp you're taking, foot, ankle, or thighs, soles of the feet shine up towards the ceiling, knees tracking down towards the earth. Find your breath. Yes, if your happy babies want to rock side to side, perfectly okay. From head to tailbone, grounding into the mat here. For 3, 2, 1. Inhale, hug the knees in towards the chest. Press the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling, waterfall. Core engages, navel draws in. Shoulders draw away from the ears, spine nice and long. Find your breath. Legs start to shake and tremble. Don't try to stop it. Just accept it. It's okay. Mine are shaking. For 3, 2, 1. Draw those knees in towards the chest. Active wind releasing pose. Hug those knees in. Tuck the chin. Lift the shoulders. How small can you make yourselves here? Exhale, release and lengthen. Full body stretch. Arms reach up overhead. Allow the legs to step a bit wider than hip distance. Maybe feet come to the outer, or the heels, I should say, come to the outer edges of your mat. Bring the right ankle to cross over the left. So both feet are down at the left corner of your mat. With the arms reaching up overhead, you'll grab a hold of the right wrist and draw it to the left, creating a crescent shape with the body. Hips and shoulders ground, so heart stays open, spine nice and long, breathing into the right side waist. Now with your next inhale, release through center, uncross the legs, release the bind of the wrist, full body stretch, lengthen fingers to toes. And then taking this stretch to the opposite direction, left ankle crosses over right. We grab a hold of the left wrist and draw it over to the right. Stay with your breath. Sending your breath into the areas of sensation. And with your next inhale, releasing back through center, full body stretch, uncross the ankles, let go of the wrist, lengthen fingers to toes. Exhale, release, soften into the mat, setting yourselves up for your Shavasana, your final resting pose. Of course, if there are other movements or stretches that you would like to take and get them out of your system so that you can settle into stillness, please take them. You have time. So if you tend to feel a little antsy pants in Shavasana, It's really about, before you check into stillness, is there movement that your body would like to release? Energy you've got to get off of yourself. Coming into your Shavasana, you can bring in any props to support or cover the body. I'm going to come around and drop off some eye pillows. If you choose to use an eye pillow, just keep the tissue between your face and the pillow. If you don't want to use it, you can just leave it there on the floor. No harm, no foul. You want one? Yes. Would you like one? Very well. So an eye pillow can be nice, especially when it's nice and bright and sunny, to help hold the eyes closed so that we don't even have to think about keeping the eyes closed. If you're not using the eye pillow, that's okay. Just let the eyes gently close if they haven't already. We'll take a deep cleansing breath in through the nose, audible sigh out the mouth. Again, deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, release, let it go. One more deep breath in through the nose. Sip in even more air than you thought you could. Exhale, release, leave it all here. Bring the awareness to the back of the head, the back of the shoulders, the back, backs of the hips, backs of the legs, heels. Any other part of you making contact with earth or prop. And release the body. Let the body go and get even heavier into the earth and into your props. Shavasana. Gently begin to start bringing your awareness back into the room and back into your physical body, allowing the breath to naturally deepen as you invite subtle movements, wiggling fingers and toes, and circling out wrists and ankles, reaching the arms up overhead, finding a full body stretch from fingers to toes. And mindfully drawing the knees in towards the chest, making your way over onto your right hand side, fetal position, eyes closed. Pausing here to allow the body to fully awaken and reacclimate. I invite you to bring to your awareness the intention that you set at the start of practice. Either choosing to continue to hold on to this intention or releasing it, letting it go if it no longer serves you. I offer you this. You're powerful now and powerfully connected to yourself. Get back into your body. Come back to life. Using the strength of the upper body, you'll press yourselves up, coming to meet in Sukhasana, easy seat. Eyes closed, palms to touch at heart center in Anjali Mudra. Sitting up nice and tall, lengthen through the crown of the head. We'll release the chin ever so slightly in towards the chest as a sign of gratitude and place smiles upon our faces. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. It's been a huge honor and a great pleasure for me to guide you on your yoga path. I thank each and every one of you for showing up for yourselves and sharing your energy with the group today. I wish you all a wonderful rest of your day and weekend, and until I see you next time, yogis, make good choices. Thank you so much. So I'll come around and get your eye pillows. You guys are free to move about the cabin. We have another free class on Tuesdays at 4:30. It's a slow flow, more advanced than this basics. So do with that info as you wish. We have a new moon Earth Day yoga practice event. It's a 2-hour thing with one of our teachers, Kiara. That is on April 22nd. And I mean, all the other announcements, not too big. If you've got questions for me, I'm here. And you guys have a great day. Easter Sunday, we are closed. Don't show up tomorrow. If you do, you'll practice yoga in the parking lot. You're very welcome.